Imagine a dog wagging her tail. She's probably happy and excited. Imagine a cat wagging her tail. She's probably angry. Both the dog and the cat are using the same language or communication method, which is the movement of the tail, but to say very different things. It's the same words, the tail wagging, but it means different things. If the cat wags her tail, the dog might misinterpret the angry cat for a cat that wants to play, and then will wag in response and go towards the cat. But the cat will get more angry because she doesn't want to play. And the dog just doesn't seem to understand. The dog just doesn't get it, thinks the cat. Both are using the same method of communication, the tail, but to say very different things. This is how I feel when I type in English. I'm using English words, yes, and so do you, but we are speaking two different languages, using English words. The words we use, though they sound and look the same, mean totally different things. Therefore, my English words, even though I'm using the same words as you, is not understood, and often misinterpreted. Then I get upset, because I can't seem to be able to get my point across. Eventually, I just submit and let you talk. I hide the pain deep down in my heart until you're gone. Then I can't stop getting upset on my own when I'm alone, because I know you totally don't get it, and I hate to leave you with inaccurate information. The next time, I try to re-explain, but you don't understand. The next time, why bother trying to explain? You won't understand anyways. I remain silent and prefer to avoid a conflict. Likewise, when you use your English words, I might understand something totally different than what you are actually telling me. I misinterpret your messages regularly, which leads me to not being able to follow your directions. You might raise your voice at me, or get angry, or frustrated. I can't raise my voice at you. I can't tell you that you are hurting me. I can't say stop. I might not have these words in my head in that moment. I cannot write words that I do not have. If you expect me to communicate in a state where words are lost to me, how could I possibly type to explain or say how I'm feeling? Most of what you say will confuse me. It's not all clear in my head. My stream of receptive communication skills is often foggy. I often confuse myself with what I say, then I get scared to have lied, since what I wanted to say I didn't say it well, or I responded with anger, and didn't wait long enough before saying it, to maybe have it said better by waiting longer. So, I will go to confession, but I'm confused at this point, so I can't know if what I said was a lie or not, so I'm confused with what I confess. I go to confession after nearly each time I try to explain something complicated that others seem to need to know about me. It would be better and healthier for me to just remain silent. If I remain silent, it saves me of going to confession. Imagine having such awful social and communication skills that nearly each time you say something or socialize, you feel like you must go to confession later. Silence and time of resets are better for me. But other people may not accept silence and assume things about me and get their own storms in their heads, which will scare me even more and make things worse. Then, I just give up on socialization and lock myself up in my own little world with my cats. That's where I feel safe. But socialization is a chore. I often can't keep too many friends for too long. It all gets too much. I can't function under social pressure. And then I just can't anymore. I just can't. Socialization will stress me out too much. I reach a point where I just can't connect anymore. And I need to be alone with my cats. Does this mean forever? Well, no, if you respect my need for silence and reset, like I need a big break. But yes, forever, if you keep on pressuring me to answer questions about my behaviors, and now my new behaviors of resistance and resilience, and of distance, because then, I'll just get more and more scared of you, or frustrated with you. Most of my friendships that are based on endless questioning about my behaviors end quick enough. I just can't take it anymore. I will want to no longer answer, and I will turn myself in. A time of reset is complicated to explain. It's kind of like a regression time, to progress in a different way later. When I come out of reset, will my social skills be just as they were before? No, probably not. Remember, a reset is a regression. It happens when it all gets too much. And I can overwhelm myself too. A reset is like when an app starts to malfunction, and you need to force stop it, clear it, uninstall, and reinstall it. You need to reset your app. Will it work just as it did before? Well, it could, or it could not. It's difficult because I'm human and need to socialize, but I reach a point where I just can't anymore. So, I spend most of my life isolated. A state of reset can also be like a little burnout. Burnout leads to regression. Over time, I try to write a story like I'm doing here, to explain things, because I've got so much pain in my heart. But in the moment itself, I can't do anything but shutting down, or going into a state of reset, which is a form of social communication regression. I shut down, to avoid a meltdown, but if the pressure persists, and I'm not given enough space for a time of reset, the meltdown will happen later, in a much more intensified way. Although, you may or may not see it. I can have internal meltdowns. And that will definitely lead to regression. Meltdowns are not temper tantrums, and should not be seen as such, and should not be dealt as such. A temper tantrum is a form of manipulation to get what you want. Example, a toddler having a fit to get a cookie, would be a temper tantrum. A meltdown is a neurological processing of information that went wrong. In other words, a meltdown is a sensory processing, or information processing overload, from sensory input, social pressure, or from words. Incapabilities of processing, or understanding what has been said, can lead to a meltdown. Especially, from words that have been shouted at me. A meltdown can also be an expressive communication issue. Like if you struggle to express yourself, it may come out as a meltdown. Shutdowns are freezing in place. They happen for mostly the same reasons as meltdowns, and also for social anxiety. Shutdowns and meltdowns are just different responses to a situation, or situations, but in the brain, it's the same road or neurological pathways, in conjunction, during rush hour. Instead of having an outburst of anger and tears, you freeze in place. That's a shutdown. I freeze in place, and become like a statue, incapable of moving, even if I want to come see you. It's better to see me stim away, because if I'm not stimming, or endlessly moving, I could be shutting down. I become like a statue until you cool off, if you're angry, or shouting at me, to protect myself. But sometimes, I freeze in place, when I'm in no danger at all. As if I need to protect myself from something that is not hurtful. I see this in wild animals as well. A frog near my patio doesn't need to freeze in place. I won't hurt him. But he doesn't know this, so he will play dead. I'm not playing dead, however, because I'm not a frog. Me and animals are alike, and we get along. The animal world makes more sense to me than the human world. Time with animals is great, because they won't put social pressure, or social communication pressure on me. Animals don't yell at me, or raise their voices at me. They don't laugh at me, bully me, or judge me, or assume things about me. Wild animals in the woods never do anything to me. They stay away. But people see I'm different, and will come on purpose, just to be mean. People are more dangerous than bears. Words hurt. I prefer meows and purring. If you have a disability, whatever it may be, animals are your best friends. Animals will not judge you. Your pets will love you for who you are. They don't care if you can't talk, or don't text for a few days, or if you struggle with math. They don't care if you can't look at them in the eyes. Animals don't care about the way you look, neurologically, or physically. They don't care about the color of your skin, your religion, or your disability. Animals don't see you as disabled. Pets get along with anyone who loves them and cares for them. It doesn't matter who you are. It takes me time to figure out words to write a story like this one. I might come up with my stories days or months later. I need time to figure out what to say and how. Meanwhile, you're shouting at me endlessly. If you would need to wait months before actually being able to tell me something, would it still come out this way, or would you have had time to sort through your inner battles and struggles? I've got lots of pain in my heart. I have that constant butterfly feeling near my heart. I can't sleep. I want to turn these thorns into beautiful roses and offer them to Jesus. I imagine myself giving him roses full of thorns, because what I am going through, he has gone through first. And rose bushes do have thorns, yet the flowers they produce are so beautiful. Who knew that such pretty flowers could come from such a thorny place? I thanked Jesus for all these thorns, when I couldn't stop crying in front of the crucifix in my room, after being shouted at. Jesus was in so much pain on that cross, and I was in so much pain too. If I think of these thorns as roses, it seems so much more beautiful.